Top of the morning, everyone. Welcome to the Ollin Vic channel on YouTube. We were going to do an etymological delve into the words heart and the word hearth. The definitions of the words we will be working with are: objective refers to something that is factual and can be verified, while subjective refers to something that is based on personal opinions, feelings, or interpretation. Objective information is free of bias, while subjective information is influenced by individual perspectives. Etymology is the study of the origin of words and the way in which their meanings have changed during history. Heart. Its objective definition is a hollow muscular organ that pumps the blood through the circulatory system by rhythmic contraction and dilation, and its subjective definition is a central or innermost part of something, the heart of an object. Hearth. Objective definition: the floor or the area in front of a fireplace, a place where food was cooked. Its subjective definition: used as a symbol of one's home. Symbolic interpretation, the process of understanding the deeper, non-literal meaning of symbols within a text, object, or situation. It's about recognizing how something can represent something else, often an abstract idea or concept. Obviously, this is our favorite, the symbol. A symbol is a thing that represents or stands for something else, especially a material object representing something abstract. Carl Jung says, a sign is always less than the thing it points to, and a symbol is always more than we can understand at first sight. So today's video, we're going to touch on symbolic interpretation. Originally, we were going to do an etymological delve or dive into the words heart and hearth. They're very similar sounding words. And even like if you kind of want to look at them, the way they sound, and even say like, oh yeah, your heart and your hearth, like they sound central, right? However, they are symbolically connected, meaning that they are through interpretation of subjective factors that people have applied to them, and not necessarily anything objective in which they themselves are related to each other through history, and they originated from the same place. Therefore, heart, the heart, like symbolically speaking, the heart is like the place of warmth, right? Like, and even then, like the heart. So we'll do heart and hearth. Like they're both places of warmth. They're places where people want to gather to. When you are full of heart, or you are heartful, or thinking with your heart, like people gather to you. You think of in terms of empathy. You think in terms of understanding. Understanding in etymology, the root of that word is to stand among others. You stand with, like in situations, not as far as like knowledge. That's the objective. It's subjective. Like in history and etymology, it's to stand with others. And so you understand others, you empathize with others, right? To empathize, you stand in other people's shoes. You stand where you've been in places where they've been, and that suffering and that sorrow and that murk and that mud and that grime, right? And in those places where you're like, oh my gosh, we just want to die. Like, oh, this is it. Like, we can't go any further. Right. And so the heart and hearth, like the hearth is where people before used to, like back in the days, right? Like people used to go cook at the hearth. They always kept fire in the hearth. Like the hearth was essential to a home, right? Like the hearth is where you cooked, you cooked, you cleaned with the warm water, with the fire, right? You washed your clothes, even warmed your clothes, your wet clothes. But the hearth was essential, right? Like there was always fire. And so symbolically, hearth, like this is tied into fire, warmth, right? And these symbolically are tied into the heart. Now we look at thoughts, right? Thoughts are associated to the mind. Thoughts are associated to air, right? Like when you feel the fire, the passion of your fire, and roar, like you feel an effect in your head. Like your thoughts are what generates the fire you create. So symbolically looking at this, at your heart and mind, your heart is your roots, where the roots of your tree start, and your mind is the top of your tree. How many people do we know up here, always in the top of their tree? Always in the top of their tree. Could you imagine, like, having lost the connection to your roots of your tree? Could you imagine how easy a gusty social wind, something happening outside of you, something that you've never experienced, a challenge, comes and just blows through your mind? It's going to crumple the top of your tree. You're left with what? Losing your mind? Have you ever noticed that people lose their mind? Or oh my God, like something with you're losing your mind. You lose your air, right? You don't lose your heart. You can become heartless, right? Or a person lacks heart, like, right? But you don't lose your heart like you lose your mind. You can have your heart broken though, right? Like you can break a heart. Funny, the use of words in describing subjective and objective things. It seems that more than anything, we humans rotate or actually are more prone to subjective interpretation of things using symbols. So as we like generate our air in our head, right? That air we generate will affect the fire you create in your heart if you are bound to always think before you feel, right? And now think of the effect of air in your blood. Air excites your blood cells. It helps facilitate the movement, right, of oxygen to every component in your body that the organism needs, right? So could you imagine all your air negatively charged moving through your body, circulating all through your tree roots because you're stuck at the top of your tree? Huh? What kind of effect? First of all, the effect will be the result. That's the objective, right? But what about the affect that you generate in these processes? Think of the effect this has when we interact with people, right? When we're interacting with someone, like there's two realities happening. The person and their objective and subjectiveness to themselves. And then there's a second one. And this is the one to be careful with. Our projection and or introjection of our subjectiveness and objectiveness of the person we're interacting with. You understand? So there's two realities. That person's reality and the reality that you were either projecting or that we're introjecting from them. The second reality has one flaw in that it completely removes and like it does not give the person autonomy. It literally means you make a person what they are because I say so in my head. Oh, wow. Wow, the tops of your trees must have a lot of wind in them, huh? This, ladies and gentlemen, is these are the things that excite us, speaking from the heart. So, today, as you're like interacting with people, are you attempting to change and control things and move things with the air in your head? Huh? And try to move things with the air? Or do you have your fire centered, born of yourself, and are you attempting to add fire to the hearth of other people and others and those you interact with so that their temperature in their air can change? And maybe it's a little bit cold in the treetops. Maybe they come down off their top of their trees, their mental trees, and find a little bit of warmth in their heart. Is that what you're doing? Is that what we're doing as a society, as a community, as individuals? Are we attempting to change things outside of us, or are we attempting to change ourselves from within? What effect will this have on the psychology of an individual, organization, community, and country, regardless of any culture or any race or anything? And that's why at Ollin Mushrooms, we believe in the heart. And that's why Mr. Mystic, we're not taking off clothes, we're taking off skins. Thank you very much, everyone. This is one of the first of many, maybe symbolic interpretation videos and other uncommon knowledge that we're going to bring to you. Thank you very much. If you like what you see, subscribe, but Blessings from the great and terrible mother.